Jason, where does this this series stack up on the rivalry list? Because I don't think people across the country recognize it. They just don't understand, and it hasn't come across their radar that this is actually a rivalry. But if you talk to real Clemson people and Georgia Tech people, of course, and people that really know the ACC, this is a long-standing rivalry that means a lot to certain people.
Oh yeah, this is a long-standing rivalry. It stretches back a long time. Not only that, it was very competitive for a long time. Some of the younger folks might not remember it before Dabo Sweeney came to town, but this was a very competitive rivalry. I'd have to go back and look at the overall record. I think Georgia Tech leads all time in the series, if I'm not mistaken. I'm getting older. I can't remember those kinds of things off the top of my head, but a lot of the early games were all played in Atlanta, I want to say. But yeah, this rivalry wasn't always as one-sided as it has been of late, especially back during the Tommy Bowden years and the Tommy West years. I mean, I remember some of those Georgia Tech games from the early 2000s. Those were some of the best games. And Georgia Tech broke Clemson's heart a few times in those years. I'll never forget Calvin Johnson catching 3 touchdowns in Death Valley one afternoon. Caught one, might have been the last play of the game to beat Clemson. After Clemson botched the punt, all they'd have to do is punt it off to win. Couldn't even do that. But, yeah, this is a long-standing rivalry, been very competitive. And, no, it doesn't get any national attention, but the older fans realize it for what it is.
And people might be surprised as well that before Clemson took over the conference about 7 or 8 years ago and Florida State was dominating, that after Florida State, Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech were probably showing up to as many ACC championship games as anybody there for about 10 years. So Georgia Tech's done rather well. And for all those college football fans who thought it was time for Paul Johnson to see the exit because, you run this triple option offense and it's outdated and antiquated. Well, Georgia Tech was winning their 7 or 8 games a year and going to bowl games and went to an ACC championship game and won an Orange Bowl just in 2014. He took them to 2 Orange Bowls and won one of them. And now they've got Jeff Collins, and we're working on a 4th season under Jeff Collins. And the first 3 were not pretty. And he should be at a point where he's got his people in there. They should be improved, and they've not shown any improvement.
I think I read the other day that from his first recruiting class that he brought in at Georgia Tech, there's not one player from that class starting on this team. I'm pretty sure that I read that the other day. A lot of them's left through the transfer portal. He brought a lot of kids in through the portal. I have no idea what the reasons are, but I thought that was odd, if I'm even remembering that right. But yeah. I actually liked the Jeff Collins hire when it was made. I thought it was a good hire, but it's a tough job. You're there competing with Georgia. You're having to recruit against Georgia. I mean, and Georgia's coming off a national title. That program's as strong as it's ever been. So, I mean, I don't envy the position he's in. He better show some improvement this year, though, or that seat might start getting really warm.
The last time, if I remember this correctly, now that I'm looking at these series, that Georgia Tech leads 50-34.
Yeah, I just looked it up too.
Yeah, of course, Clemson's won the last 7. So the last Georgia Tech win was in 2014. Actually, that's the season I just referenced. They won the Coastal, lost a close ACC championship game to Florida State. Then they won the Orange Bowl against Mississippi State. And that was the game that Deshaun Watson got hurt, right?
Yeah, that was the game Deshaun Watson tore his ACL. I think Clemson was fixing to go up 10-0, and he goes down, and Cole Stout throws a pick 6, and he throws another one, and Georgia Tech's off to the races that day. But, yeah, that was the game that Deshaun Watson tore his ACL. I remember those early Paul Johnson teams very well, when Josh Nesbitt was the quarterback, and Kevin Steele was the defensive coordinator at Clemson. Those Clemson could not stop those offenses. In 2009, that ACC championship game between Clemson and Georgia Tech, I think there was one punt the whole game. Yeah, I mean, it was no defense anywhere to be found. And Clemson struggled with that option for a few years until Brent Venables came to town. Once Venables came to town, you know, that kind of ended that. But he kind of owned Paul Johnson after that. But yeah, Clemson struggled with that thing for a while.